Hello, Aries, and welcome to Soul Guidance with Adriana. I'm Adriana, and I'm so glad that you've joined me for your intuitive reading this week. We started with this beautiful card, the Hare. I really love this card. It's so peaceful, so much fertility. And for you right now, this card to me carries the message of opportunity. With it comes patience, that it may not be this moment exactly. I know your favorite thing to hear, right? But but that in the right time, all of these opportunities and prosperity will unfold for you. There's a little thing in the book that comes with this deck that says, flowers don't bloom all the time. And that's really true. I tend to only look at flowers when they're blooming, but the rest of the year, they're actually storing up energy. They're gathering, they're deepening, they're feeding other animals. So there's still something going on. It's just not the thing, it's not the flower, it's not the gold. So, but there's still something happening. Even if it feels like there's nothing happening, there's still something happening, Aries. Okay, let's look at cards for you. Two of Pentacles is where we start, equilibrium. The Justice card for the energy that helps, beneficial energy, challenging energy, interesting, happiness. Six of Cups, I see. Okay. This is all about fairness, equality, justice, and balance. Not about choosing the choice that creates the quickest happiness, or whether it's for yourself or someone else. And I know this sounds really odd, but sometimes the just choice, the choice that is the most fair, doesn't feel the best. Okay, so, silly example of this, kids tend to really like sugar, right? So if a kid is like, I want more candy, I want more candy, and they've already eaten a whole bag of, I don't even know what kids eat anymore. They've eaten a bag of Jolly Ranchers and they're demanding more candy. What would make them happy in the moment would be to give them some more candy. But what's fair and best and right for them is to stop having that candy and maybe have some protein so they can calm down, right? Sometimes the most just is not the easiest thing. It's not the pretty thing. And it may not make you friends to be fair. But in the long run, it earns you respect. And that's more important than just giving people what they want so that they'll like you. That's people pleasing, right? So you're starting off the week with this equilibrium, the equal give and take. Maybe feeling yourself on one side versus the other. You might be feeling more like you're giving more. You might be feeling like you're taking more. This card is asking you to enter in a state of balance with both, but to realize that there's a bigger spiritual principle going on. And when you align yourself with the energy of justice and fairness for all, not just one person, this is not one-sided justice, justice and fairness for all, then you're on the right side of things. It's really interesting, Aries, especially for you. In the zodiac wheel, the zodiacs are represented by either animals or people, right? So you're a ram, Taurus is a bull, Gemini are twins. The only sign that doesn't have an animate avatar, I guess we'd call it, or symbol, is Libra, which happens to be your opposite. So Aries, even though you're in Aries, you are connected to this Libra energy because you're learning something similar in this lifetime through a different way. But it's through your opposite, the Libra energy, the scales. And let me back up for a second. So Libra is represented by the scales. The scales are impartial, they're not personal. And that's on purpose because justice cannot have a bias. So if they chose, like the twins to represent bias, I just said it. If they had chosen the twins to represent Libra, that would be a problem because one twin would have one point of view and one twin would have another point of view, and there's going to be no fairness. You almost need to not have a person, like the ego can't be involved in order to make the fair choice. And I feel like that's the challenge for you this week because the self, the ego just wants to be happy, just make me content, just make life easy and flowing. But sometimes you have to do the hard thing. Sometimes you have to stand up and say, nope, that's not fair. And this is the fairer choice for all of us. We all may feel like we're compromising and no one's winning, but we need to do this for the sake of fairness. So I feel like that's this card here, that you may not be getting the results you want right now by taking the high road, by being fair and just, but eventually you will get the rewards of that. So, I used to teach in universities. I taught music, and I had one class that was class piano, and I was pretty tough teacher, at least in the expectations and what I wanted people to do. I set that up pretty tough. I think they probably thought I was nice, but I set that up pretty tough because I didn't want to be friends with anyone. I didn't want to win friendships. I wasn't in that class to be liked. I was in that class to teach them. I wanted to teach that class because I wanted to share what I loved. And sometimes I really had to make hard choices. Sometimes I had to make choices that got me terrible, very negative evaluations coming back at me. Sometimes I had to make a certain choice that prompted a student to stop coming to class because he felt that what I did was unfair. However, what I did was according to what I had set out into the syllabus. So to cater to his need would have been unfair for everyone else. Let me give you a little background. He was not attending classes, and he had been warned that if you don't attend classes, here are the consequences. And so he wanted to have an exception made, and I wouldn't make that exception because it wasn't a valid exception according to what we had agreed on in the syllabus. So, it didn't win a friendship. It didn't win me favor. He didn't like me, but I cared more about providing fairness for everyone. And I feel like because of that example, because of that, the other students learned as well. They learned not to push boundaries. They learned that I valued hard work. They learned that I valued integrity. And that class really accomplished. That was the best class out of all the classes I taught as far as the progress the students made. So, I hope this is an inspiration to you. I don't mean to feel it to see like I've got all the answers and I'm high and mighty. That's not what I'm saying. But this can inspire you to do the right thing, even though I can tell you it was very uncomfortable at times, especially when there was a confrontation during class. But, when you're there for a higher reason, to teach a higher thing and to have everyone experience fairness, it's not as hard as it might be. I want to get a little bit more. Daughter of Roots, 10 of Swords. So part of the reason why you're wanting to seek the easy way out is because you're kind of done. You feel like you're done with these tests. You're done with all this learning. You're tired of having to try and try and try again. But Aries, to your soul, you're only playing dead. Your soul knows you're going to get back up again and you're going to try this again and you're going to succeed one of these times. It just knows that you're just a little exhausted at the moment. But if you could maybe explore these situations instead of battles, if you could look at them as a curious adventure. Maybe I haven't shown up in this situation before. Yeah, I know these people know me to be a certain way, but this could be an adventure for me to show up completely different. I could completely shock them. I could completely keep them off guard, This might be an adventure for me to show up differently. If you kind of go that way into curiosity and adventure and spirit, it's less hard when things work out the way they're going to work out. Maybe if it doesn't work out the way you wanted exactly, it kind of softens it a little bit. Okay, my guides are saying one more animal card. Keep your vibration high, snow leopard. Stay above negativity. Stay above fear. Stay above someone trying to pull you down. Just maintain, protect, guard your vibration. Stay in a positive place. My tiny soapbox, the world is dark right now. It's been a very tough week. I've had a tough week with situations that aren't even related to me, people that are not even connected to me. But we can't let the darkness take over. We have to keep fighting for the light. So, Aries, thank you so much for joining me for your reading. It's such a joy to do these, and I really look forward to seeing you in the new year and seeing what messages come out then. Have a good one.